So there's a lot of risk to it overall. I mean, you never know what you're going to run into. I mean, I've had some strange stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the hat and sunglasses incident?
Yeah, I was sitting outside the shelter after dinner. Dinner's usually, I mean, they call it dinner, but I mean, it's like 4:30. Mm-hmm. You know, kitchen opens at 4:30, and stay there and eat till 5:45. I'm wearing just like crap clothes. I've got all my luggage with me. I'm wearing this army hat and sunglasses, right? And there's this crack house, like right across the street. It's like the smallest house I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like there is no other purpose for it. It's like a room, with an AC. Yeah. And the guy who lives there and sells out of there, comes across the street, and he and his girl or whatever are acting like they want to go to the shelter and this, that, and the other, and then they find out what they're having, and they're like, I don't want to eat that. So the guy comes over to me, and this guy, he looked a lot like you. Not the bad guy, but the guy he's talking to. He's going to stay at the shelter. That was going to be his first night there. So I was kind of giving him some advice, and the guy comes over, and he's like, hey, you guys got any money? Right. It's like, dude.
Very personal question.
We're sitting outside a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
You just came out of a crack house. I know who has money.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And then he's like, well, you got anything? And yeah, he was Hispanic. Okay, that's just all there is to it. He was. And I'm from a 98% Hispanic area, so I'm almost an honorary Latino, so I'm going to do the accent. So you got anything? Like, well, what do you mean anything? And he's like, give me your hat and sunglasses. And this is a Honduran Desert Storm.
Yeah, I've
like
seen
Special Forces hat.
Mm-hmm. Got the brim all the way around for the viewers.
Yeah, it's a boonie.
And it's camouflage.
It's camo. It's nice. I mean, I could never find another one. Mm-hmm. Right? And my sunglasses are just Lokes. They're just...
Well, just the question of, not the question, just demanding that you give up your stuff.
No, it's not like he asked.
Yeah,
it's not like he asked, can I have your hat and sunglasses?
Can I check those out and give them to him?
He's like, how about your hat and sunglasses? I'm like, what good are my hat and sunglasses going to be? Well, I can sell that shit. Huh?
Yeah.
You're going to sell my hat and my sunglasses for how much?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my sunglasses are just Lokes. I mean, you can get them in a convenience store for like $10.
$10, yeah.
That hat's priceless to me, but it's not worth anything to anyone.
Right.
So the guy's probably broke because he just smoked all his product, I guess, or whatever. And it took a while. And then there's this poor guy here who I've been telling, you got to be careful here. And there is a prime example.
Yeah.
And he almost got scared. He's like, you've been sitting here talking, and then that happens, and I'm thinking I might just go and get in my car and drive somewhere, or sleep in my car, and you might be safer. Yeah. You might be safer in some ways that way. I mean, these shelters usually are not in what you would call the best part of town.
Yeah. So was that basically it? You're just like, no, I'm not giving them up, or what are you talking about?
No, I'm not giving them up. And then luckily, the people who were going to come and let me stay at their place for a little while showed up right then. Mm-hmm. And I just got in their element and took off with them. But, the guy continued to... The guy who was checking into the shelter had some really nice Oakleys. Mm-hmm. I was like, you need to not have those.
Right.
Put them in your car, or his car was shit. I think his car had no windows. I was like, those are going to disappear.
Yeah.
The caretaker would say, nothing disappears. I'm the only one here, but whatever. I got a bathing suit of all things stolen. Yeah. My thrift store bathing suit with the U.S. on it. I mean, I'm kind of happy to be an American, but I don't buy anything with I got the Captain America shirt. I guess I'm being a little hypocritical, but I wouldn't buy something with the United States on it intentionally unless it was the only thing that fit, and that's right. That's what happened. I mean, it wasn't anything special. I mean, I just don't. And most of these people, man, they just have problems. They drink too much. They smoke too much crack. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people in their 50s and 60s have a crack problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or I guess it's kind of moved to a meth problem.
Or meth.
I imagine most people who mess with that stuff would prefer the meth.
But, you know, it's weird because you go to the shelter and there's a lot of people from your town that you've never seen. Because they go there to eat and maybe like try and sell something now and then, and the rest of the time they're smoking rock.
Weird.
Yeah, and then you got the nighttime sleep anywhere crowd, and let's spend all the money we have on tall boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or while their one or two female friends prostitute themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. There's a lot of prostitutes around the shelter, and a lot of them will just peddle their wares right there. I was sleeping outside one night, and like no kidding, like right there at the corner, like right out in the open, like under the spotlight, completely naked chick, completely naked, man. I mean, like right out there in the open. I mean, this is how often the cops come by at like 2 a.m.
Right.
Yeah, it was a trippy experience, the shelter. But I don't know. I can't decide whether staying outside was more scary. Having health problems.
Yeah.
During that, I mean, if you get sick or you get like a skin problem, like if you get because you're going to be not clean.
Right.
I mean, that's the advantage of staying in the shelter, too, is you get a shower every night.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you stayed there before and the caretaker knows you, he might let you. He let me in to just shave and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And gave me a razor and a toothbrush. And
yeah. Kind of like the rest of the world, the more behaved you are, more of a team player you are, the better you have it.
I was good while I was there. I cleaned showers and, did whatever he asked me to do. He couldn't let me stay any longer.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really cause any trouble. My biggest problem with the shelter was, you go to sleep early, you get up early.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of these old guys, or just guys in general, would come into the shelter, and like if you and I were in there, we'd probably sit up, talk, maybe play some chess, they have games and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
go in the little rec room, watch some TV or whatever. You never get to choose what's on, but there's some TV in there. We'd probably like hang out and like do some stuff, work on the notebook or read or something. But then there's these dudes that go in there at 6 and they go to sleep. Like right away, they take their shower and they just hit the sack. And they don't, and then 6 o'clock is lights up.
Mm-hmm.
So
really,
yeah,
that's weird.
So it's like
that's something I would have guessed, but
so it's like 12 hours of sleep, but they're not going to sleep 12 hours. All those guys get up at like 4:30, 5:30, and like I kind of had a job the latter part of my time there. And I was getting like 5 hours of sleep anyway because I was coming in late. And these guys would be up at like 5 in the morning and they're just having a full-fledged conversation.
Right there where
like
everybody's trying to sleep.
Yeah, like just completely like I wore earplugs.
That sucks.
And
I take that shit to the day room.
Yeah, well, you're not allowed to be in there at that time.
Oh, okay.
And then it started to getting to where they were being so loud, they started to wake the caretaker up, and I stopped that dude one morning. I was like, Gilbert, man, I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best here. I'm going to work, but like my quality's suffering. I need that extra hour, brother.
Yeah.
You got to make these people shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And he called us all into the day room, and he like laid it down. Like he's like, look, you don't get up until I turn that light on. And if you are up, you be fucking quiet.
Yeah.
You
gotta keep it quiet.
And nothing changed. They were good for like 2 days, and then they were back to their shenanigans. And
Yeah.
wondering who told and who has a job in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird thing. You got a lot of people in there, selling their food stamps, and it. Have you been around like a criminal element a lot?
Not a lot. Certainly wasn't raised around it, but in my ignorant early adult years, yeah, I've definitely been in some shady scenes.
Well, the caretaker of that shelter has a saying: "Show me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. Show me who you know, and I'll tell you who you are." Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of hanging out with this guy for a while, kind of trying to help him out because he got kicked out of the shelter, and that guy did nothing but get me into trouble. And then, everybody that you kind of meet there, like, they're good people, but,
Yeah, that is a continuous lesson that pops up, and as far as me trying to be an entrepreneur and trying to better myself and get more grasp on my financial situation is, we've all heard it before. It's who you get around,
Yeah.
And if I were to stay around some of my friends who are good friends and good guys and workers, but all they do is play video games and smoke, and that's what I'll be doing as long as I stay around them, or I won't get to what I want to do. And,
they can put a trespass on your life, a little, a little kink in it.
Yeah.
And you're already in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And
see, that's kind of something that pushed me to check out churches. Like, I might not believe in all of their, dogma or much of it, but the morality, the morals are there, that I believe in. Working for what you get, being honest, monogamy, taking care of your kids.
Yeah.
So, is that wrong for me to go to those places because of that?
No.
And I've even had the thought, why don't I start my own? I don't want to call it a church, but that's what it would be. Where do I go if I don't want something that's religiously dogma, oriented, but I just want to commune with people like me? What do? And I don't know. One answer was to think of the world as my church, because there are plenty of people that agree with that.
True.
Running around out there. And shouldn't I think of such things as higher power? Yeah, as being something that I carry with me at all times, and then, there's no excuse for slipping. I'm constantly in my church. I'm constantly in my temple.
And dude, if it wasn't for a lot of people, I'd probably be dead.
Yeah, me too.
I probably wouldn't have made it through these few years. And
I've got a lot of help. A lot of help, dude. I haven't been in a homeless shelter, but I've got a lot of help from people that didn't have to give it to me.
A couple friends of mine, really, really have helped me out, and I've been kind of a drain on them and everything, and a strain on their relationship at times. And man, I'm glad my family's kind of starting to see that I'm getting in this situation where I can better my life, and they're trying to be more helpful, and I'm building bridges there. But man, if it weren't for those two people, if it weren't for them, I was about to, I was about to sleep on the floor in this tool shed one night, and they just came and got me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna call it there. It's not long enough for the video.
Yeah. By all means, please email, because that just adds a whole other facet to this thing. We want to know what you want to hear about. Questions, comments. As I said, you can insult me all you want to.
And guys, if any of you out there are having trouble with your friends or family or homelessness, just look up like services in your area. There is an answer. There is someone that will help you. You just got to look for it.
AA helped me a lot, and I barely used it. I just used it a little bit.
And be persistent. Be persistent. You're probably suffering because you need to. I hate to say it that way, but suffering is good for you. In some ways, you'll be stronger after. Yeah?
Yeah. Very good.
Good night, guys.
Thanks a lot.